Hi guys.
Hi everyone.
So for today's topic, we are going to be talking about the issue of saying that people are whitewashed.
Yeah, especially if they're like lacking in like certain cultural traditions or if they don't live up to certain ethnicity stereotypes even.
Standards and like stereotypes.
Yeah.
So we want to talk about that. So I'm half Filipino and I'm half Guatemalan.
I'm Mexican and Puerto Rican.
And I feel like I've just not received, but I've just experienced so many things ever since I was a kid regarding like, oh, you're not Hispanic enough, you're not Asian enough, or really you're Hispanic, or really you're Asian. And it's just annoying because I feel like when you think, oh, a person's Hispanic, you expect them to act a certain way or talk a certain way.
Yeah.
Or vice versa with Asian people. It's like the same thing, and it's just annoying when you're mixed and you're not either, so you feel like you're lacking.
And every time someone's like asks like, "Oh, what are you?" and I'm like, "Oh, I'm Mexican and Puerto Rican." They're like, "No way! I thought you were white, or I thought you were white and Mexican, or white and Puerto Rican, or white and..." I've gotten white and black a couple times.
I
I'm
can
like,
see that kind of.
really?
Kind of.
I don't know. I can't see a thing.
What?
No, and then it's just like I've always been like white, and it's not like it's a horrible thing to be white. It's just that I'm not, you know. And it's heartbreaking. Like I want to be seen as like Mexican and Puerto Rican. Like that's a part of me. Like that's a part of my identity, and it's just sad. And it's not because of like necessarily how I look. It's people are saying it because of how I act or speak.
Oh.
Which is like okay.
Yeah, same. People have always asked me what my ethnicity is. Like, people always ask me, or they try to guess. And I don't mind that. I know some people get, like, offended now. Like, when you ask them, oh, what are you?
I'm just curious.
Yeah, I don't mind getting asked that. I like it. It means, like, oh, you care, you know?
Yeah, like you can't tell what I am.
Yeah, I think it's cool to be, like, racially ambiguous. Not trying to flex.
No, yeah, when I look at you, like, it's... I
You
would
can't
never
tell.
know.
I've gotten, like, Hawaiian. I've gotten Native. I've gotten all these different things. And some people guess it right, but some people guess it... Yeah, some people are like, are you, like, Asian or Hispanic? And I'm
Well,
like,
you're definitely,
yeah.
like, Asian something. Like,
You can tell, yeah. I had, like, an old lady. I was working at a bakery once, and this old lady, she's, like, 80 years old.
she's ancient
She's
on the brink.
freaking ancient. She's dusty. And she... No, she was like she's ordering like donuts, and I was serving her. She was like, honey, like what are you? Like, I need to know. I was like, oh, I'm half Hispanic, half Asian. She's like, oh, Asian. I can tell because of the eyes.
But, like, that's not, like,
I'm like,
rude.
that's
Like,
not,
I wouldn't be offended
no,
by
I
that.
thought that was so cute. And I
Yeah.
was like, oh, yeah, like, true. You're not wrong.
Yeah.
So I don't mind being asked that. But what I do have a problem with is, like, I don't know. I feel like I've gotten this so many times, but, like, when people hear me talk, especially when I freaking talk, they're like, why do you talk so white? And I'm like, what does that mean?
People of color can't be educated?
Like, I don't have to, you expect me to talk like I'm a fob or something?
Yeah, or, like, they expect, like, people to have, like, accents or, like, to use slang.
Yeah. And I think it's just, like, the voice. What do they want me to talk like, dude? What do you expect me to talk
It's
like?
hard, too. Like, it's a very our generation issue.
Yeah.
It's like what we are raised on.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know, like dude, when I was younger, like I was called an airhead a lot, and like
Yeah.
that's why like I have insecurities now about sounding like I'm stupid. Because a lot of people meet me and they automatically think I'm stupid and are super condescending until they get to know me. Like, oh, she's a genius. and I think it's like what we were raised on. Like the people we were watching like over the internet, like they talk like like they were a little talked a little airhead. It's like we're feeding off that, and like it changed how I speak now.
Okay, so there's one thing that I want to talk about, and I feel like a lot of people can relate to this. I don't know. When people ask, like, oh, do you speak Spanish?
Oh, God.
And you're like, let's say I say no. Then they like automatically think, oh, okay, well, whatever. Like, she's not Hispanic enough. You're not, you know.
Dude, I've gotten so much criticism from, like, it's always Mexicans, because, like, if I'm ever around, like, to Mexicans. I don't chill around Puerto Ricans. I don't talk to my dad. But like at my job, like all the women that worked there were Mexican.
Yeah.
Like in the back. And like they'd always try to talk to me, and I could do bits and pieces. Like I would answer in English as they'd talk to me in Spanish, and then they'd start having a whole conversation. I'm like, I don't know Spanish. And they're like, ugh. And then they would talk shit about me in Spanish. I'm like, I know what you're saying. I got you. Like it was so rude. And it's like, you don't know my story, like why I don't know Spanish. It's a whole thing.
And it's hard. Like, I feel like you shouldn't expect someone to speak their native language just because they're ethnic.
Yeah, and
You
like
know?
when people will come up to you and just speak in like a language.
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa. And then you're like, oh, I don't know it. And they're like, ugh. I'm like,
I know, like,
you
as
just
if
came to me.
No, for real. Okay, so I have so many experiences at the bakery for some reason that I worked at. But I remember I was helping this one guy. He was Hispanic, and he was like talking to me in Spanish. And like, okay, I understand Spanish, and I could speak it, and I can read it, and I can write it. That's like a really big insecurity of mine, my Spanish. I just feel like I'm going to sound dumb, so I'd rather not speak it, which I know is so stupid. I'm taking a Spanish class right now, and it's making me feel better talking, like, in Spanish. But this guy, I said un bolsa for, like, a bag instead of una bolsa.
Oh.
Okay? It's, like, the most minimal mistake, I think. Like, I was like, oh.
You know what
I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm like, ¿quieres un bolsa? And then he was like, huh, un bolsa? And then I was like, what? And then he just laughed at me. He's like, no, una bolsa. And I was like, damn, dude, take your fucking bag. Like, is this in a Spanish bakery?
Dude.
It's a Greek bakery. What are you doing?
Yeah, like so many people would come in to the bakery I worked at speaking Spanish and like wanting me, and I can only go so far. Like I would say like what we have in Spanish and like the prices, and then once I pass that, that's all I know. You know?
Yeah.
Like one time this lady came in. I was like, well, she spoke English, but she was just talking to me in Spanish. And then I was saying, like, all the cakes and what's inside it in Spanish. And then I was like, that is the extent to what I know. And then she asked me a question. I was like, yeah, I don't know Spanish. Like, I've been lying. No, and then, like, other people come in speaking Spanish. I'm like, I don't know. And then someone else has to help with them. And they get, like, frustrated. I'm like, this is an Italian bakery.
No, I know. I don't mind speaking Spanish with customers. But when they get annoyed when I can't say something in Spanish as if I'm the inconvenience, I'm like, dude, you can't walk up just expect everybody to speak a certain language and then get mad at them for it.
And then it's not even just that, because, like, you know, some people don't speak the language and not bashing on them, but it's just, like, you getting frustrated with me.
Yeah.
Like, let me try to help you. I'm not getting frustrated.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm worried. I'm
just
like,
chilling.
anxious.
I'm just trying to serve you,
Like,
dude.
I want to help you,
Yeah.
obviously. And then they just get mad.
It's just frustrating.
And it's always older people, dude.
Dude, okay, so what really grinds my gears so hard is when people say that I act like a white girl.
Yeah.
What the fuck does that even mean?
It's so problematic to say. Like, what does it mean to
What does
act
it mean
white?
to act white? I drink Starbucks.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. The fuck? Like, I just get so many things. Like, it's so annoying, dude. Ever since I was in freaking middle school, people would always say, like, oh my God, you're so whitewashed. Oh my God, you're so white. You're so white. I just get so mad when people say I act like a white girl. What the fuck does that mean? And every time somebody says that to me, I ask them, I'm like, what do you mean? And they can't explain it because it doesn't make any sense.
And then it's like, we talked about this before.
Yeah.
Like, using slang. So, my parents grew up in the hood.
Oh, shit.
And, like, my dad is, like, ghetto. And my mom,
Yeah.
it's off and on, you know?
Yeah,
Like, she has to work and, like, turn it off. But, like, sometimes it'll come out. And, you know, and sometimes if I get frustrated, it comes out. Dude, when I'm mad, it comes out.
Dude, same.
And people are like, why are you trying to act like you're ghetto?
Dude, I've gotten that too.
I'm like, what the fuck?
Like, what do you expect me to look like or act like, you know?
Yeah, I don't know.
Do you want me to look like I'm straight out of, the hood, or do you want me to act like I'm like a white person? But do you want me to have a Hispanic accent, or do you want me to be in pre-med? Like, what do you want me to do?
Dude, yeah, because
it's so annoying.
You can never win.
Never.
No matter what you do, you will never win.
It's so freaking annoying. And it's like, there's so many like expectations within like the Asian side of my family. I remember like the Christmas of like before going into college, you know, like my whole family, they knew I was going to go to college and stuff. And they were so excited to hear what I was majoring in. And they're like, oh, nursing. They're like, pre-med. And I was like, no, acting. And they're like, what?
You're like, movie.
And I was like, I'm going to be in a movie. Like, I want to be in movies. I want to act. And they were like, ha ha ha. Like, they fucking laughed at me, dude. And they're like, what are you going to do with that? They're like, okay. All right, let me know how that works out. I'm like, dude, I don't think the world needs another Filipino nurse. I'm sorry. We have enough. Filipinos run the medical industry. We do.
Yeah.
Go to any freaking hospital, look at the nurses. Majority of them are Filipino. And kudos, but they don't need another one.
Yeah.
They got them. They're stocked. They're fully stocked.
There's like the back.
Their back stock is full.
No, and I hate when people do that. It's like, this is a side note.
Yeah, that was just
People like bash on like, oh, I want to be an actor. They're like, good luck.
Yeah.
I'm like, you idiot. Your entertainment in life is shows and movies.
Yeah.
Why are you bashing me?
Yeah,
I'm trying to entertain the public.
Exactly. And
Come on.
yeah. Dude, it's just really frustrating because it makes it seem like, okay, I feel like you can explain this better than I can, but that like ethnic people, when you're like, oh, you talk white, it's like, oh, then only white people sound educated.
Yeah.
It's just annoying.
It's like
I
a
don't know how to say it.
stereotype of like associate, and like I know like a lot of people of color dominate, like, and I'm learning this in my education class. It's like the low income.
Yeah.
You know, it's like really dominated by like, it's like high income is associated with white, and then low income is associated with like Hispanics and black people. And when you meet someone that's like Hispanic or black and they're not what you expected, it's like they're weird, like, oh, you're white.
Yeah.
Just because I don't act like, or if I didn't come from low income, or if I don't act like I do, or if like I've come out of that. It's really problematic and really fucked up. It just makes me mad, dude, because I'm reading about all this stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, come on, you guys suck.
Could we evolve? You know? That's what I feel.
And I don't get the point of saying like, oh, you act white. Okay, now what?
Like, what do I say to that? Dude, I've had people say that my entire life.
Now where do we
What
go
do
from
I
there?
say? What do I do? What do you want me to speak Spanish?
What do you want
What do you want me to do?
say to do? You want me to tone it down?
What do you want? I know.
And for me, with like feeling like I'm not cultured enough or getting called white like in middle school and high school. And for me, it always, not until recently, like before it was like a culturally, because like I don't speak Spanish. I really, really lack culture, like traditional like things I don't know about and like I don't, do. And it's because, well, my dad's Puerto Rican and he's like Dipperoni, so like I don't associate with that Puerto Rican side. I'm not close with my dad's family.
Yeah.
So I don't know much about that. And my Mexican side, my grandma grew up in an orphanage in Mexico. So she didn't have like a family to like teach her all these things and like to provide her with like recipes and just like basic things, And then she came to America. She had nothing to pass to my mom.
Oh.
And so my mom didn't like learn anything new. She didn't like try to start her own traditions. And then she had nothing to pass to us. So now me and my sister are like lacking.
Yeah.
And the reason I don't know Spanish is because my dad knows Spanish, like Puerto Rican, like very slangy.
Yeah.
Puerto Rican Spanish. My mom knows like
Spanish.
like Spanish. And my mom didn't want me to learn my dad's Spanish. She's like, don't speak Spanish around them. And he left. And
You're like, I don't have to worry about that.
He's like, okay, bye, I'll just leave. And then my mom just never spoke Spanish to me. She kind of like, she was like in and out for like different reasons of my life, like some good, some bad. And then my uncle would like minimally speak to us in Spanish, and my grandma like a decent, okay. But like it wasn't enough for me to learn Spanish. And
like
it's
the language.
Yeah, and like I'm like right in a conversation, but like it's definitely not enough or not like where I would like to be.
I've never heard you speak Spanish before.
Yeah, I won't. I'm not going to. And so that freaking sucks. And now as I get older, it's like it's that cultural, like not having that. And now my skin color, because I'm a lighter Latina. Yeah. I'm not pale, but I'm definitely on the lighter side. And now it's just like, I feel like that it gets associated with like white or like not Latina enough. And yeah, it just makes me sad sometimes.
Yeah, I think for me, because both of my cultures are like different, because like you're both like, it's like Hispanic for you. I remember just like in high school they had Filipino club and then like the dancing club, like the Latin dancing club, and it's like I wanted to join, but I just felt like I wasn't enough of either. Like if I were to go to the Filipino club and like dance their dances, I would just stick out because I don't look Filipino.
I don't think so. I mean, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like I cannot relate, but like I understand why you would feel that way. But there was like white people in those groups too, and like
in the Filipino club.
There was like like some clubs that were like really like race specific. There was like other people that would come in.
Really? Never mind.
No, I know, but like the head people.
Yeah,
I see why you feel that way.
Well, okay, I didn't know that all those other people were there, but from like the people that I did know that were in like Filipino club, for example, they were like first gen, very into their culture. Like they knew how to speak Tagalog, they knew everything, and it's like I didn't know any of that.
Yeah.
I know zero Tagalog, none of it. The only words I know are the words that can also be in Spanish because it's like kind of mixed.
Yeah.
That's the only word. Those are the only words I know. My Lola never spoke Tagalog to me except if she was like yelling at me.
Oh my god.
Well,
I don't know what you're saying.
Or like just stuff like that, and it's just like I've never learned it. My dad doesn't speak it as much. Like he understands it, but he just doesn't speak it. You know?
Uh-huh.
I know zero of that language. And I don't know, just Filipino club just seemed intimidating for me, you know?
Yeah.
And then for like the Spanish club, I just didn't feel like I was in that either because I felt, I don't know, it's just weird because it's like I feel like since I'm half, I'm not fully Hispanic, I'm not fully Asian. It's just weird.
Dude,
it's a weird
I
feeling.
hate that. Like, no, I don't get it, like, personally. But, like, I hate that for you because it's not fair. Because some people do think that. They're like, oh, you're like, only half Latina. You're not, like, a full Latina.
Yeah, that's what sucks.
It's like, dude, what the fuck?
What does that mean? And then also, like, when it comes to, like, casting and stuff, I wonder, like, if I were to get casted as a Latina, like, do I represent that correctly? I'm only half. And then when you look at me, I look weird. Like, I don't look either or. You know, so it's like, imagine, because you know me, but like, imagine if you didn't know me and you see me on stage, like playing a Hispanic person or an Asian person. And that really sucks because it's like, what if I can't play any other Asian besides Filipino, but I could play every other Hispanic. I think that's weird.
You know
that's
why,
interesting.
Though? Because Filipinos have a very, like a look.
Yeah.
But like Hispanics, dude, and like I learned this in my ethnic
range.
studies class in like my junior year of high school.
Mm-hmm.
And like we get blood from like so many different places and like there's so much in it. You like took a DNA test, dude. Like my DNA test is messy.
Really?
Yeah, because it's like Hispanics, like some Hispanics, like some people think like they're just Asian, you know, and it's like some Hispanics look like they're just black or like some, you know, like,
True.
it's so crazy. Hispanics are so, and that's why you can play any Hispanic. I think it would be unfair if there was like the show they did with the like all Hispanic to not cast you because you're half Asian. Like that, you being half Asian does not discredit your Latina side.
That is true.
And like, and the opposite of that, if there was like an Asian character that you could like play, you know, it would be dirty to not cast you. You're still Filipino. That's still your identity.
That's true. Now this is all hypothetical. I just wonder how it would be done.
Mm-hmm.
But like, let's say they were doing a Hispanic show, and because they have more Hispanic people to choose from, they wouldn't choose me because it's like, well, she's still half, and we have like full over here. Whereas if they were to do an Asian show, they don't have that many Asians to choose from, so it's kind of like, all right.
Well, where this comes in, I think you have to look at like who's best for the role and talent, and not like, oh, you're only half. Like,
that's true. I think it's really cool to be half. No offense, I think it's boring to be 100% of one thing.
I'm 100% Hispanic.
Well, no, but you have like two different. Like my brother, he's full Filipino. That's cool, but like I just like being mixed. I think it's so cool, but then why do people shit on it? Shitted on them.
It's like sometimes it gets like fetishized. listen to this. Sometimes it gets like fetishized, like mixed babies. Everyone's like, oh, I want a mixed baby so bad. And then it's like when you're growing up, people on like either side like dig into you. Mm-hmm. Like, dude, so many Puerto Ricans have talked like so much trash about my Mexican side. I'm like, you have some
Puerto
fucking
Ricans
nerve.
and Mexicans, they hate each other.
I know. There's so much turmoil
like
inside of me.
I don't know why hey, all you Mexican Puerto Rican listeners,
don't hate each other.
Yeah, why do you
keep making babies if you hate each other?
Thanks for listening to today's episode.
No, and then the Mexicans, like my mom hates. She just hates my dad, and she has like some beef for Puerto Ricans.
Same.
And I'm like,
it's weird.
Come on, let's just love each other.
You know what I hate? Minorities hating on other minorities.
Dude, I'm like, you have some fucking nerve. We're in the same boat.
For
you
real.
little shithead. We need to stick together.
Stick together. Dude, why are so many minorities kind of racist?
I'm like, dude, you're a minority and you're racist? Pick a struggle. Because you can't have both.
For real, that's just a side note. And this happens with people who are just of a different race too, because my friend told me that she was working on a show where like the language was Spanish and she was just on crew. She wasn't in the cast. And because she had to like read the lines when people would call line, she had to like say the words in Spanish. You know what I'm saying? Because the script was Spanish.
Yeah.
And she would mispronounce things, obviously, because she doesn't know the language. And all of the people would make fun of her. And I think that's so messed up. And like she was actively trying to learn Spanish and all the Hispanic people were making fun of her.
I think why people do that. Let me break this down. I think why like minorities can be like racist or rude towards other minorities is because all of like these minorities that like have been discriminated against feel so poorly. So when they get a chance to like stomp on someone for like a stereotype or like an issue or thing, it's like it's empowering for them.
That's so annoying.
Which is so messed up. And like why would you
What's the point of doing
pull
that?
the knife out of your back and put it in someone else's?
Ooh, that was good. Did you come up with that one?
Right now.
Did you come up with that?
No, right now on the spot.
That's good.
Dude, y'all can use that if you want, but like, quote me.
No, that was good. Yeah, it's just like, it's hard because not everybody acts like that or like treats other minorities that way. But it's just so like, I think it's normalized. It's so easy to throw around the word, oh, like you're whitewashed. And I just feel like that's so insulting, not only to the person who is of a different ethnicity, but also just insulting to like, I think just the person in general. Like you're making it seem like you're whitewashed, which is bad because you're ethnic, but it's good because you act white.
And
does that make sense?
Like, it's making it seem like if you act white, if you like white and act white, then it's like,
haha, why are you acting white? Like you're not really white.
Like that's such an insult.
Like it's yeah. It just doesn't make any sense.
You guys are mean.
Yeah, so if anybody's listening and you've ever told somebody that they're whitewashed, don't do that.
Take a step back and like,
step back, evaluate what you're gonna say, run the sentence through your head a couple times.
Why do you feel that way?
Why do you think you're better just because you are more culturally aware, or just because you speak the language? You're not better.
And it's like you never know what someone has gone. Like for me, you would never know that like why I'm uncultured.
Yeah.
Like because my grandma like. Her parents passed away and she grew up in an orphanage. Like, that's evil. Like, people are just so rude and, like, quick to jump on someone for something without, like, taking a step back. Like, everyone has something going on.
Exactly. Like, everyone's story is different. And it's just, like, don't be so quick to judge. And if you are more, like, culturally aware, you know the language, dude, just teach.
Yes.
Teach us. I would love for people to teach us more about like the culture that I'm in. Like I think especially for me, like Filipino culture, that's like where I'm lacking because like I'm closer with my Hispanic side of my family, so I know more, I know the language, but in the Filipino side, like I don't know that much. I know the food.
No, same. Like I know the Puerto Rican food so well, but like
slaps.
Anything else, no.
If you guys haven't tried Filipino food, get on that. Anyway, so teach people. Don't freaking judge people. Don't stomp on them. Don't be like, haha, you're whitewashed. Ha ha ha. Like, shut up. Just teach us. Be nice.
Yeah, it's so
literally
selfish.
just be nice.
And just rude.
For no reason. Like, oh, you think you're better? You're not, sir or ma'am. Chill out. Are you flexing because you're more of like, what, a minority?
You're more discriminated against because you're more cultured?
Whoa.
Ooh.
Big guy.
All right, guys. Have a beautiful day or night.
night.
Good night, little angel.
Good night.